Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I can see quite a few of you lovely people who are streaming in. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a wonderful session brought to you today by the University of San Francisco. As some of you can see on the screen, one of our windows has that beautiful golden bridge right there in the back. So we have folks who are joining us today all the way from San Francisco, a few of us from Mumbai. And that brings me to my next question, wherein we really want to know where all of you folks are joining us in from today. So very quickly in the chat window, I see we've crossed around 100 participants. If you could let us know which city you're dialing in from, we really want to know where our audience, where our participants are coming in from today. Great. So we have Zulfikar, who's from Srinagar, Kashmir. Wow. We have someone from Accra, Ghana, Righteous. Hello. Anyone else from any other countries? We have someone from Kenya, right? Anyone else from India? Hyderabad, great. So keep those cities coming in. We really like to know where our audiences are coming in from. Like I said, we have a very, very exciting session brought to you today by the University of San Francisco's Masagung School of Management. And like the topic says, we are going to be talking about unlocking the various opportunities that this wonderful university provides you with and what are the advantages that you can get. So we're going to take a deep dive and learn a little bit more about the school's unique offerings, the global opportunity, career advantages, and of course, I have some experts with me on the panel today, which are going to be answering all of your questions about how you can stand out in your application process, how can you bag those scholarships, and make sure that you crack that admit into your dream school. For those of you who have just sort of joined in, the University of San Francisco is one of the top ranked universities in the US, ranked number 1 in student diversity among all the national universities in the US. And of course, my colleague and friend Hannah will be speaking a lot more in detail about their other rankings. The university also boasts of a very strong alumni worldwide network with quite a few alumni, even from India and from Africa, who are working in various diverse fields such as technology, startups, finance, banking, AI, venture capital, nonprofits, NGOs, and a lot of those, right? So while we're waiting for the others to tune in, I'm going to quickly move to the next round of introductions to the panel, starting with myself. My name is Sabahat Farzuk. I represent Seed Global Education. We are a UK headquartered company that facilitates interactions between top global universities like the one that we have here with us today and prospective students like yourself, giving you a chance to connect with the people at these institutes, giving you a chance to understand more about the programs, about the offerings, and help you make informed decisions about your higher education and career plans. Joining me on the panel today is Hannah Artis, who's the Senior Director of Graduate Admission. Thank you so much, Hannah, for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us on this wonderful Tuesday morning, all the way from San Francisco. So a little bit about Hannah. Hannah is an experienced enrollment management professional with expertise in graduate admissions operations, international and domestic recruitment. She has been to India and Africa quite a few times and is a lovely person to travel with. And of course, she has an extensive experience in admissions and in recruitment. If you have any questions about the university, she is your go-to person. Along with her, we also have John Coughlin, who is the Director of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at USF. John is a global business leader with executive experience across Asia, Europe, and North America, spanning finance, tech, government, and education. He currently resides in Silicon Valley. And from his bio, I'm given to understand that he's an accomplished open water swimmer. Thank you so much, John, for taking out time as well and joining us. And of course, last but definitely not the least, we have Ramya Nurani, who's the Associate Director of India Graduate Recruitment for the University of San Francisco. Ramya is also your go-to person if you have any questions about, the University of San Francisco, your admission processes, etc. You can get in touch with Ramya. Ramya will be dropping her contact details shortly in the chat window. So to give you an overview about today's session, we are going to be knowing as to why choose the University of San Francisco's Masagung School of Management, post which we will be getting into a Q&A as to how to distinguish yourself in a competitive scholarship applicant pool. In the meantime, of course, for everyone in the audience, if you have any questions, please feel free to keep dropping them in the chat window. I encourage you to do so. We will be taking up all of those questions as soon as the presentations are done. We're close to 230 of you. While we wait for a few more, I'm going to quickly start by putting out our first poll question uh, for the evening today. On the screen in front of you, what are you hoping to learn the most from today's session? Are you someone who's looking at understanding the admission criteria? Are you someone who's looking at tips on how to build a strong application profile? Are you here to gather more information about funding and scholarships? Are you someone who wants to know about career opportunities for international students in USA? Or are you someone who really wants to know about all of these things and much more? I can see quite a few of you who have started dropping um, in your answers. And yeah, a lot of you are looking to learn all of the above and much more. But very quickly, I'm going to keep the poll window running and open for a few more seconds so that you can let us know which of the following things are you hoping to learn from the session today before I sort of hand over to our panelists here. So great. With that, I'm going to end the poll now and share the results on the screen in front of you. 58% of the audience today wants to know about all of the above, closely followed by the others. So I am now going to hand over to the experts as such. And over to you, Hannah, to start with your presentation.
So much. You are always one of the best moderators and organizing this event for University of San Francisco. I am so grateful. Now I can see the attendees climbing. Thank you for joining us. I know that it is evening time for many of you. And on a busy day. So thank you for coming in. This is an important and informational session for you to learn about the University of San Francisco. And with that, I see a couple of names that I believe I have met on the road and who have already worked with USF. So I love that we have some repeat attendees and folks who are already engaged. I hope to see those applications come through as well. Now, in today's session, we are going to cover a lot of ground. There will be a recording that will be shared, but also please note that Ramya and I and John, we are here to support you starting as early as today. If you are ready to talk about applications, attend additional information sessions, do some resume coaching or workshops, we are here to connect with you. And I know Ramya is going to be in the chat, available to also meet with you in person, as she is located in India as well. So you've got a great team of admissions professionals who are ready to support you in joining our great university. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm sharing my screen, and if you cannot see it, Ramya and John, you just let me know what I need to do. Moving
All
on
good
from
for now,
here.
Hannah. All good. We can
Oh,
go
good.
ahead.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, with the University of San Francisco, we are located, can you guess it? In San Francisco, which is Northern California on the west coast of the United States. Now, with that, our university here we go. We are just now experiencing our 100th year of offering premier Jesuit management education. And we're very excited to share, as of this morning, we can release our brand new US News and World Report rankings. And the University of San Francisco is proud to share that we are ranked top 30th across entrepreneurship programs, business analytics, management, marketing, our wonderful executive MBA, as well as finance. So the rankings are important for graduate programs for several reasons, both from the perspective of business schools, but also for you as you consider which school to enroll in. These rankings are going to signal the academic rigor, our strong alumni networks, as well as the career outcomes for our university. And often, remember that employers are looking at rankings when deciding where to recruit regionally as well as at the school level. So you, as a prospective student, you can rely on these rankings to really influence your decision to apply and ultimately enroll in the program of your choosing. Now, they don't mean everything, but they can certainly help guide and influence your enrollment process. These are brand new and released as of today, so we will have more news to share about them via email as well as an announcement from our website. You are the very first folks to hear about it, so we're very excited to share. Now, with that, I'm going to hand it over to John to speak about the Bay Area and the San Francisco opportunities for international students and why they may want to choose University of San Francisco and ultimately what the opportunities are within the Bay Area. So, John, I'm going to let you take it away from here and unmute while I will guide through the slides.
Yeah, sure. Can everybody hear me now?
Absolutely.
Yes, we can,
Okay.
John.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, thank you all for being here today and giving up some of your time. I know it's very valuable. I think what Hannah's showing here is possibly the most important slide of the day. I think that this is our secret sauce. If anybody is checking in from the real estate industry, you know that the top three factors in real estate investment are, shout them out to me, location, location, and location. And we at USF are very fortunate to be based right in the middle of this new artificial intelligence revolution. So what you see in this slide here are some of the sort of, go ahead and go back, the legacy tech firms that are based right in our neighborhood. If you can just make out the, well, I'm pointing here, the USF pin that's been dropped in the middle. Um, but now we are dead center of the artificial intelligence revolution. So yeah, Hannah, if you want to go to the next slide, thank you. And we have the highest concentration of talent in artificial intelligence here in the Bay Area. And we have discussions all the time, and maybe you do yourselves. This AI revolution is exciting. Some of the conversations can veer into science fiction. We don't know where we are on the hype cycle, but what we do know with absolute certainty is that technology connected to artificial intelligence and machine learning is going to change everything for us in the way we deliver education, in the career opportunities that we have. And it's become abundantly clear that San Francisco and the San Francisco Bay Area is the absolute global capital of artificial intelligence. We are the home of venture capital. 20% of all venture capital deployed in the entire world comes from San Francisco Bay Area. It sort of maps with the 20% of AI talent being here. Um, you know, uh, IPOs are probably going to slow down this year, but the wealth creation has been absolutely extraordinary here over the past 40 years. And what surprises me as a Bay Area native who's getting very close to the half century mark in terms of my own age is that this looks very much set to continue, given these factors, the talent, the money, but also the culture of the San Francisco Bay Area, where failure at creating a startup is actually a badge of honor. Nowhere else in the world is it like that. And I think that is a critical factor for those of you who have entrepreneurial ambitions, that you can come to San Francisco, where success is celebrated, but failure is nearly as much, because everybody knows that failure is just a stepping stone on the way to success. And one thing that's interesting too, and those of you who just even with a passing knowledge of the global business press will realize, is that many of these major tech firms are run by immigrants that were once F1 or H1B students. If you look at Microsoft, if you look at Google, if you look at Meta Group, all of these, and in fact, many of these folks come from India. And similarly with the sort of new AI revolution that we're dealing with. And as we know too, AI is not just for people in tech. Really, this changes the career trajectory of literally everyone. So I think my advice to you all and to everybody is, why not get a front row seat? Why not be involved in all the change that's going to happen? Why not shape the way the future is going to look? And do we have another slide? Oh yeah, of course. And so let's get down to brass tacks. So where exactly will you be working? Hannah has put together a neat logo here, but and so you obviously recognize Pixar. Kiva is one of the greatest innovators in social finance lending. Many of these firms you won't recognize at all because they're startups. And the blunt answer is, where are you going to work? We don't know. Why? Because many of the companies that you'll be working for, especially if you're doing a 2-year MBA program, they probably don't exist now. My own career trajectory is the same. When I was studying as an undergraduate in university in Silicon Valley, when I enrolled, Google didn't exist. By the time I had graduated, Google was definitely not even the top search engine. Mathematicians will know that Google looks like a typo. That's not even how you spell Nikolai Google, the after whom the search engine is named. Netscape was going to be the clear winner. And then by the time I'd reached age 30, Google had the highest market capitalization in the world. And here we are today as I approach 50 years old. And the Alphabet Group, which is now the parent company of Google, is, depending on the day, the most valuable company in the world. So, um, you know, I suspect that we can make similar things here. So students coming to the University of San Francisco, you certainly have opportunities to connect with big tech, but also startups as well. We have a strong career services team that will walk you through step by step. If I can pause here too and just give you any advice, one word comes to mind: networking. You absolutely need to start creating your network. I won't even say on day one, I'll say on day -90. When you are admitted to USF and you decide to enroll, you must start to build your network in the San Francisco Bay Area. You must land at SFO and already have coffee meetings set up with people whose careers interest you. Lean heavily on the USF alumni network. Um, if you want to pull up LinkedIn right now and see who from USF works at some of your favorite companies, I would start cultivating relationships with those folks now. Your network is your net worth, as we say. Jobs at the competitive jobs at both the big tech firms that you all recognize and probably interact with every day, as well as the startups that pop up every day that are mushrooming all over the area. They will not hire you based on you pushing one click apply on LinkedIn. You must build your network, and coming from a prestigious university in the heart of this new revolution is a great place to start. Experiential learning to, oh, just if I can take one step back, experiential learning. So you'll have several opportunities, traditional internships, but also you'll have the opportunity to work in sort of pseudo consulting firms. We call it the Malloy Group. We're just about to announce, this is not official yet, so hush hush. But Carnegie Mellon University's engineering school has just will soon announce a partnership with our MBA students to do a project management projects with several leading firms in Silicon Valley and along the West Coast. And these will be highly competitive. So that's something to shoot for already, before you even enroll. So if you come to USF in August, be ready to hit the ground running with some of these experiential opportunities. And then, do I have this next slide too, Hannah? Here's this.
Don't worry, if you want, I can take over anyway,
No,
because
no,
we're going to continue
no.
to work with this
Okay.
as we run through
Okay.
on time. So thank you, John. I really appreciate the way how you are able to communicate that our students get to engage both in the technical application of what they're learning as well as the academic. When you're coming to a university like University of San Francisco, we are going to engage with integrated learning. We want you to come on day one and have applicable skills, such as don't just click apply now 64 times for an internship. We're going to teach you how to network like a pro. And through that networking, that's really technical advice, right? But we're going to give you branches into sustainability partners. We'll give you branches into tech partners. We will bring you to companies so that you can have a day at Lyft, but we will bring companies like Gartner Consulting to you. So it's not just enough to attend class for 3 hours a couple of times a week. We are also giving you technical advice so that you can build your resume, work on your startup, practice your pitch, and investigate VC opportunities. These are all just small things that we can do to make a large integrated impact in your graduate school experience. You'll hear me say this a lot if you continue to attend USF events, which is grad school is so important. It is tough. It's meant to be academically rigorous. It is meant to challenge you internally and academically. It's also really fun, but it is such an investment personally and financially that you must take every opportunity seriously. So, partnering with program directors like John in career services is critical starting today if this is the university of your choice. And we have many students who have experienced success in starting AI companies, in opening their own businesses, in creating, whether they're working in wildfire startups or if they're working in fish startups. I mean, I feel like we lean on startups a lot, but that is truly where we are with the proximity to Silicon Valley. So, With that, let's talk a little bit about our programs. You must be interested at this point to understand that we are a career focused education, a highly ranked education. So, where can you apply that into your STEM programming? University of San Francisco offers over 50 graduate programs. Traditionally, for our candidates coming out of India and Africa, they are looking for STEM and OPT opportunities. These would be the primary programs that are accepting applications for fall 2025 and fall 2026. I'm sure many of you are here ready to be on last round, and some of you are starting to prepare for your next cycle. In these programs, you'll see that you have 1 year and 2 year opportunities. These are all STEM. Some of them require academic backgrounds, some of them have various more flexible admission requirements. And that's where you partner with Ramia and I after this call to do a deep dive into your resume and understand which program is the right fit for you. Now, you also want to know that you are joining a university that makes you feel comfortable. Within USF, we're ranked typically top 5, this year #1 for being most diverse institution in the United States. So we are recruiting all over the world, whether that be in Africa, India, Latin America, China, Philippines, Germany, Spain. I've been to all of them. And we are looking for top talent from everywhere. But I think what's most important is that you find folks who want to eat the same food, who want to celebrate the same celebrations. And we have that at USF. So in this is what we call our Indian network. Take a screenshot. These are folks who have graduated recently in the last 5 years who are happy to answer your questions and build your network. We have some of them who have stayed in the US and some who returned to their home cities in India. But all of them have great things to share about their experience from their consulting groups, from their client projects, and from working with the USF staff and faculty to build their careers. Now, 70% of USF graduate population is international. And that's an important thing that speaks to especially a difficult time in the US where you may not always feel welcome, or we might be having some news stories that might feel a little scary. In the city of San Francisco, we are built on immigrants. We are built on families coming to this city. Our companies are built on H-1B visas. And our universities are actively recruiting internationally. We will maintain a safe space for our international students, and we do not intend to change our F1 visa recruiting structure. Now, we got to motor through some of this because we're wrapping up on time, but I know you're also here because you're curious about what you need to submit for admission. Every month, our team is hosting app advising sessions to discuss the application materials. We have one next week called the Application Tips and Tricks. But no matter what program you are applying to, you will submit your undergrad degree transcripts, your resume or CV, a statement of purpose essay, 2 letters of recommendation, an interview for some of our programs. And while the GRE or GMAT is mostly waiver available, there are some programs like data science that do have a hard request for it. But Ramia and I are here to support you with those follow-up questions. Now, as we roll through this, it is wrapping up for the fall 2025 cycle, right? We've been open since September, and some schools have closed. For University of San Francisco, we have one final deadline left for fall 2025, and that is May 15th. So you have just over a month to submit for fall 2025, and our classes begin in August. However, one thing, visa preparation. If you want to apply on April 15th or April 20th or May 1st, go ahead and do that. I strongly encourage any international candidate to apply as early as they possibly can because you have an additional 7 steps with the visa process. And we want to make sure you have sufficient time. So don't dilly-dally, get on this and submit your application. We do have scholarships available through May 15th. Now, if you are investigating what fall 2026 looks like, then we have our deadlines, which will be available as early as August, but generally you will have an application open in September with deadlines in November, January, March, and May, giving you sufficient time to plan ahead for the 2026 cycle. And now we host many sessions to support you. Ramia and I, John, our admissions staff, Maureen, Tim and Lindsay, we want to meet with you. We want to receive your emails and we want you to come to our one-to-one consultations. We want to provide you with the fee waiver. We want to discuss your scholarship eligibility. Often it can feel intimidating when you are working with a university if you have some questions about your GPA or whether your work experience is valuable. Do not shy away from our admissions team. We come specifically to these events with Seed to work with people like you. And we are excited to have these Zoom sessions. So please reach out to Ramya, to myself, or to our team at management@usfca.edu so that we can begin your enrollment process as soon as today. And with that, I think that we are just maybe 2 minutes over. Did I keep it under time, Sabah?
Yes, yes, you sure did. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much, John, for the wonderful session. And thank you, Ramya. I see you've been busy at answering some questions and dropping some links as well. Great. So we have quite a few questions that have sort of come in. Ify, thank you so much for your comment. That is really helpful, and we will get back to you. But for the rest of you, if you do have any questions, please keep posting them in the Q&A box. We will be taking those up shortly. But before I jump into that, we are now going to be jumping into the next segment of today's session, where I'm going to be asking Hannah and John some not so difficult questions, but some really important ones, which are going to help all of you. But in the meantime, of course, all of you as well, please feel free to keep posting your questions in the Q&A box as well. We will be answering those. With that, I'm going to now move into the second part of today's session. Hannah, I would like to begin with you. And my first question is, of course, what are the most important factors that make an international student, be it from India, Africa, or any other country, really sort of stand out in this super competitive admission process?
That can be its own presentation, right? But in short, one of the things that we're looking for is, one of the things to remember is that we are building a cohort, right? We are looking at your successes and contributions, but trying to place you with about 25 other individuals. At USF, we really offer small classes. So you have a lot of one-on-one attention with your faculty members. So I want to be able to read your essay and understand your accomplishments, your drive, but I also want to understand how you may fit into my classroom. Do you consider yourself a group learner? Do you consider yourself more of an independent learner, which all are great? But if you can speak to that, that really helps our admission committee understand how you will participate in our classroom and how we can benefit you. So it's something that I think can get lost in the wayside when we're writing our essays or working on our resumes. Remember to envision yourself in the classroom so that we can make that admission process a little bit easier.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. That I hope all of you have taken that pearl of wisdom, because trust me, a lot of you are going to be needing it. John, moving to you from an innovation and entrepreneurship perspective as such, how can students differentiate themselves in the application process, especially those who are coming in with an entrepreneurial mindset? Especially in India and Africa now, the entrepreneurial bug has gotten into quite a few of our students. So what can they do to really sort of stand out from the crowd?
Yeah, sure. So the entrepreneurial bug, yeah, it's contagious and it's all over the world, absolutely. And
Yes.
you can be a successful entrepreneur anywhere. In my opinion, the best way to do this is to show that you've tried something entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
We all know somebody, or maybe we are that person. I'm certainly been guilty of it as well. We all think we have a great idea. The key is in the execution and implementation. So make it clear on your application that not only have you thought of something, but you've tried it.
Mm-hmm.
We're less concerned with how successful you've been with this venture, more that
Right.
you've actually given it a shot and taken some action.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Hannah, I'm going to move to you now. Let's talk a little bit about academic and professional background considerations. How do you evaluate applicants, especially, applicants coming in with diverse academic and professional backgrounds? We have quite a few questions in the Q&A box also about students asking about this. And a few of them might have also done some career changes during their time. Does that sort of affect their enrollment chances? So how does the whole process sort of work?
Excellent question. So, what I like to tell every candidate is that there is a degree for you. And there's also the right time for enrollment. So that's where working with Ramia, John, I, and the admissions team will really help you build confidence prior to submitting your application. So,
Mhm.
one, work with us, we'll help you. But two, remember that it's a holistic process. We want to see that you have experienced a challenge and that you've overcome it. John said it earlier, failure is just a first step into success. Being able to communicate that is really critical in the admission process. So we
Mhm.
like to see career changes so long as those career changes have a great story.
Right.
Really, your whole application process is storytelling to us. Be able to communicate why you were successful or maybe why you weren't successful in undergrad.
Mhm.
How has your career ups and downs helped you to the point of choosing your MBA or choosing your specialty masters? That
Right.
tells us that you're taking a very thoughtful approach. But we
Mhm.
have candidates who come from career change or who are coming to our programs with a career change or
Yeah.
three. We have folks who come with STEM backgrounds. We have
Right.
folks who come from arts backgrounds. I think this
Mhm.
year we admitted an opera singer into our MBA program.
Wow.
So there is a degree for everyone. It's your responsibility to craftfully communicate that to an admission committee. And then, of course, I see a question in there that I want to address, which is what happens if my GPA isn't that great?
Yeah.
We get that a lot, okay? So let's remember grad school is hard, right? We want to know that you will be academically successful. And we've, of course, all maybe slept in a little too much in our undergrad, or maybe we partied a little too hard our sophomore year. That
Mhm.
happens, right? We are still rooted in reality in the admissions process. But we want you to be able to tell us why and demonstrate improvement. And you can demonstrate improvement either through your work history,
Right.
through a LinkedIn Learning class, or through
Mhm.
the good old GRE or GMAT exam. And there are a plethora of ways to communicate that. And when you work with the admissions team, we will help you navigate which one will truly help you in the admission process.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. John, moving to you, building on what Hannah was speaking about students coming in from, let's say, non-business backgrounds, from STEM or humanities or even technical backgrounds, how can they sort of position themselves for opportunities in entrepreneurship and innovation? Because a lot of them do go in that direction now as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I think historically it tended to be like finance majors or engineers, sort of took the cake when it came to graduate business
Yeah.
education. That's no longer the case anymore. Really, people from any academic background, what we really want to see on your application is that you've applied yourself as an undergrad. So academic success in any discipline is a great preparation for graduate business education, and never more so than now, given all of the tools, many of them AI powered tools that can allow you to start a company, perhaps without even having a technical co founder.
Right.
Yeah, Hannah said opera singer. We've had a dentist,
Yes.
could be anybody.
Great. So anyone out there, if you have the entrepreneurial bug, USF and John is your person to get in touch with. Let's talk a little bit now about funding and scholarships. We've had quite a few questions which have already come in about this. So, Hannah, what are some of the primary funding and scholarship opportunities which are available to international students? And of course, most importantly, what is your key selection criteria for those?
Always important, right? So,
Yes.
first of all, we offer scholarships at every round of
Hmm.
admission. And that's not typical for some universities. You may see priority deadlines. You may say, oh, apply by round one. At USF, we find talent at every single deadline. So if you are looking at May 15th, don't worry, we have a scholarship for you, which always, I want to alleviate some concerns. But when we're looking at funding opportunities,
Hmm.
I can't stress this enough. The application is so important. We want you to take your resume seriously. We want you to take your statement of purpose essay seriously. That's going to be what every single admission committee member sees. So, in
Right.
that essay, you're going to want to read between the lines and be able to communicate your story really well. I know you want to use ChatGPT. So do I. Use it as a base, folks, because if you think that you're the only one using it, John and I are reading hundreds of essays that all look way too similar. So when we
Hmm.
talk about criteria, I have a lot of open-ended criteria to look for folks who have great GPAs, to look for folks who have are career changers, or for working parents. I have scholarships with those criteria. I have entrepreneurship scholarships and nonprofit scholarships.
Great.
So
Yeah.
there are many based merit and donor specific scholarships available to you. Your essay and your interview communicate that to us that you are eligible for it. And if you
Hmm.
waste if you or sorry, I shouldn't say if you waste the opportunity to tell a truthful story by just leaning on ChatGPT,
Yeah.
you may not show off that you are perfect eligible for our entrepreneurship LitVac scholarship. So
Wow.
still use ChatGPT, don't get me wrong, but really take it to the next level and spend the extra hour on your essay to
Yeah.
communicate that in between the lines for us so that we can easily award that to you. The next thing that I will say about scholarships is to have realistic expectations. I myself have earned my MBA. I know what it's like to look at 2 years and a student
Yeah.
loan and tuition payments. Our office hosts multiple events to help you prepare for that financial cost. So our scholarships will come anywhere between a 10%, a 15%, 20, and 25% coverage of your total tuition. So that will help you really prepare. If you are looking for a full ride scholarship, that is not something that you will see at University of San Francisco. We offer partial scholarships that are really ranging about that 25%. And then if you are a part of our seed
Hmm.
application, which we will share at some point, then
Yeah.
you have the eligibility to apply for the 75% scholarship. So there are lots of carrots and scholarship opportunities for you, but don't waste your time on the application.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. So Hannah spoke a little bit about innovation scholarships. So John, my next question to you is, are there these specific scholarships or university-backed funding opportunities, especially for students working on innovative startup ideas who want to get right into it after graduation?
Yeah, so your question is very, very well timed, Sabahat. Thank you.
Well,
So USF has just started a university-wide entrepreneurship and innovation initiative. So there are a series of micro grants that are available to founders throughout the university. And of course, the students who in the graduate business school, whether you be doing an MBA with an entrepreneurship focus or you do the MSEI program, of which I'm the program director, you're very well placed to position yourself for these small micro grants that can really be sort of a pre-seed funding to get your startup idea off the ground.
right. Great. Thank you. So, Hannah, we spoke a little bit about how students can work on, securing the best scholarship. Let's talk a little bit about what makes a strong letter of recommendation, especially for an international applicant, and also the fact that quite a few students who are going to be applying to your master's programs are going to be applying right out of graduation. So,
Mhm.
where does the weightage come from? Is it okay for them to get one of their professors or someone from the university to recommend them versus a professional recommender? What would you suggest?
Great question. So I'm going to put this into two categories. First category, if you have work experience, right? Work experience that means either full time, part time,
Yes.
even internship. I want you to use a professional reference. Our admission committees want to know how well you did in these professional environments. Were you challenged? Were you successful? That is so critical because remember, if you're applying to School of Management, you're going into a professional program. We'd like to know
Hmm.
how you handled these situations. So if you have the work experience, then please choose the professional reference. If
Great.
you do not have work experience, of course,
Hmm.
lean on your academic references. However, with that, please make sure that you're choosing a professor that has a lot of things to say about you. We do not want one line letters of recommendation. We want to understand who you are. So pick someone who is excited about you, pick somebody who wants to write about you and has many experiences or an in depth experience to share. Nothing is worse than getting a letter of recommendation where it's one sentence and they just say, well, John showed up on time. He was an okay student. So really work with somebody who is excited to talk about you and
Yeah,
understands your end goal.
great. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Can I
Uh,
add something in here, Hannah?
sure.
Given, yeah,
Yeah,
all our
I'm gonna
Indian
spotlight
students.
you very quickly.
Sorry,
Yes,
that's
go for
very
it.
well. Is folks, before you actually go in with your recommendation request, do have their buy-in. Go talk to your professors. Let them know that this is what you're planning to do. And it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt if you can remind them of the fantastic job that you've done with them,
Yes,
any research that you've assisted them with, any project that you've led, any internship or any club that you've led, anything that has made you stand apart. If you can remind them very softly and then tell them, hey, this is what I want to do, and I'd really love it if make it easy for them, because our faculty members, our professors are also teaching so many students. It's not
yes.
always easy to remember the good work that you've done. So let us be, let's do this service to ourselves. Remind them a little bit, then go with your recommendation piece so it works out for you well. I just felt that would help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ramya. I think that was super important and needed. There is no harm in going and talking to your professors and reminding them of the work that you've done to make sure that it is showcased in the right light, because your letter of recommendation speaks volume about you. So be yourself, be subtle, but put your achievements out there. Great. John, moving to you, how can applicants sort of showcase entrepreneur skills and leadership qualities in their essays or SOPs to strengthen their chances for admissions and thereby to even secure some funding from the university?
Yeah, that's a great question. And my answer, I'll really underline what I said earlier, is uh, show a bias towards action.
Mhm.
We all know this. Let's admit it. Sometimes we just try to fill up our resumes with clubs. We sign up to be a member of a club. We don't do anything. We're on the email list. We really want to see a bias towards action.
Right.
Did you go beyond an idea? Did you create something? Even better if you can get other people involved, if you can recruit other people to do something. That shows great leadership, shows great influence. I think that's the path to success.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, John. So put yourselves out there and put these priorities first. Hannah, during your presentation also, and even otherwise, we always keep talking about networking. There was a slide which showed the beautiful alumni ambassadors from USF. We've kept talking about how students need to get in touch with any of us here if they're looking to get any help. So does engaging with faculty, alumni, student ambassadors before a candidate sort of applies, gives them any sort of competitive edge, helps a prospective candidates in the application process as such?
Great question. So, the first thing I want to say is that these people have day jobs, okay? Alumni have day jobs. We invite them to events. We give you events, typically about every other month, where you can engage in an alumni Q&A session,
Right.
in a student Q&A session, in a faculty Q&A session. So one, your admissions team, we already know you want to connect with them. So we offer you monthly events for you to do that. Because if you go off an email via LinkedIn, they might not reply. They are busy folks.
Yeah.
So I want folks to engage with our USF community, but know that we provide those events for you so that way you get a timely response, because you may not do it if you go off on your own. But attending the monthly information sessions and
Mhm.
events, and the events in person that Ramya is hosting, will absolutely help you. We track everything that you do. We want to see that you showed up this event, at a tips and tricks, at John's information session. Every
Right.
time you show up at an event, it builds confidence. We get confidence about you, and you build confidence in your program. So don't skip out on those events emails. They will help you, and you will look better as a candidate.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. John, also, if you could speak a little bit about what kind of networking opportunities does the university offer, especially to international students who are interested in entrepreneurship and in innovation specifically?
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question. And I see that a few in the chat have asked related questions.
Yes.
And if you look at the research on graduate business education as well, it's almost universal, and everyone says networking is number one.
Yes.
It's easy to say, but what does that actually mean? First of all, you probably have a better network than you think. You go beyond family and friends. Part of the diversity of USF is we have people from literally everywhere in the world here. So you're not the only Indian person here. You're not going to be the only person from your region. And in addition to that, San Francisco is the best place in the world for tech events. So USF, we host events all the time. Our career services team does. The MSCI program hosts a networking event right when you land so that you can connect with fellow entrepreneurs and people will help you secure
Yeah.
internships. But probably equally as important, perhaps even more important, are the conferences that happen in the area. So TechCrunch hosts a big Disrupt conference. Salesforce has their big Dreamforce conference, and the list goes on and on. Take advantage of those. I encourage my students to volunteer at these conferences, not because I want you all working for free, but because as a volunteer, you get a chance to meet everybody. You're going to be
Yeah.
checking people in and you'll meet everybody there. Or you might be get a volunteer job of preparing the panelists. And so use all these opportunities. Sitting and passively taking your classes and getting your degree is an absolute waste of your time and money. Don't do that. You need to go beyond just what's in the classroom.
Thank you. So John spoke a little bit about internships, about finding the right kind of role. So Hannah, how does the university sort of support international students in finding these internships, assistantships, or research roles that could sort of potentially help them offset a little bit of their tuition fees? Because return on investment is a huge component that specifically international students are looking for when they're coming to study in the US.
You've heard me say it. Grad school is hard, grad
Yeah,
school is fun, and grad school is expensive. So, Ram, yes, we want to
perfect.
make
Understood.
sure that you are one well versed in what it's like to be a student and that it is hard work. But we provide a significant number of services. So, starting in day one as a USF student, you have access to the Masagung Graduate School of Management Career Services Center.
Mhm.
So, that includes 5 executive career coaches that you have required as well as optional meetings with. So, some of our programs have it built in that you must meet with this career coach throughout the duration. Some of them it's just optional. So depending on which program you choose, you'll have that, but they are available. They have time. We pay them lots of money to work for you. So utilize that. And then we also host monthly sessions to learn about etiquette, to understand different cultures hiring or how to come into the US and really get through some of that in between the lines
Yeah.
information. So we have a whole slew of events to help you build that start on day one.
Right.
And then on top of that, we have the University Career Center. So we have 2 centers for you to work
Hmm.
with from our Masagung management, but also through the Priscilla Scotland. We have the Malloy Group, which will help you with consulting and building NDAs with other companies to get real world resume building practice. We have the Gellert Family Business Center. So many of you probably are coming from family businesses. You're looking to
Right.
scale, and that's an important resource for you. So we have multiple pathways for you to engage in
Hmm.
career development that are required as well as optional. And then when it comes to internship seeking, I feel like John is such an expert on this.
Yeah.
And he gives really great real world advice. You know how we are here. We are rooted in reality. Just because we offer these services does not mean that it is a cakewalk. You are in a
Hmm.
competitive area in the Bay Area looking for top talent in tech and AI. So it means you show up on time, you listen to John's advice, you partner with our career services team to find the best results for your internships. And I believe that for this last year, 44% of our graduate internships led to a full time job offer. So we're just shy of half, which is a really great perspective when you're looking
Hmm.
at how competitive the Bay Area is for intern and
Right.
full time offers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. So Hannah spoke a lot about the different ways in which you can go around securing your jobs and internships. John, can you speak a little bit about what industries or sectors currently have the most innovative, innovation focused job opportunity for international graduates in the US?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've kind of a this is I don't wish to sound glib, but it's the answer is in the San Francisco Bay Area, really every company is a tech company. My high school classmate had the largest IPO in at the New York Stock Exchange last year. doing cold chain logistics. You know, he was a logistics firm, but
Mhm.
completely fueled by AI. And so, you know, really it's anything. And I think that's the beauty of San Francisco, is that everything we do is touched by technology, and we have access to the latest and greatest technology. So I think that a mistake that a lot of incoming students make is they get sort of mesmerized by the idea of working for, I don't know, we called them FANG, or now we call them Magnificent Seven, you know, your Alphabet,
Yeah,
Google, Meta, et cetera, NVIDIA. Um, but the opportunities, particularly for those of you who are very early in your career, is with startups, small companies that you know, could become rocket ships overnight.
great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. My last question to both of you, and I see that quite a few questions which have poured into the Q&A box. Ramya and Hannah, thank you so much. I see that you guys are busy typing away, but I will pick up some of the most relevant questions from here and take a few minutes with those. But before we wrap up, my last question to both of you, Hannah, are there any specific leadership or extracurricular activities that can help an international student look more appealing and
Mhm.
competitive, especially in the funding process?
Yes, we want to know that you are engaged in your community. Okay, we go back to the beginning of this Q&A. What are we looking for? We are building a cohort. I'm building 25 students in every single program who are going to engage with each other and build complex relationships and create a dynamic classroom experience. So, your extracurricular activities matter. We want to keep them in line. You know, if you're giving me a resume with 50 different things, as John pointed to earlier, that becomes less impressive.
Yeah,
But what is impressive is there a group that you really care about, that you've been participating, volunteering with, and or through leadership examples? Um, yes, we want to see that. We're looking not so much for the quantity of co-curriculars that you've had, and more for the meaningful quality of them. So, you know, be thoughtful in what you choose to share in the essay and what you
yeah,
learned from those experiences. But absolutely, we're not looking to be recruiting folks who just stayed in the dark basement for the last 4 years. We want to know
yeah.
that you have value in your community, that you are participating in either professional or personal engagements that will lead you to participate in our dynamic cohort.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. John, my last question to you is, can you talk a little bit about what are some of the most exciting trends in entrepreneurship and innovation that international students should pay close attention to?
Yeah, that's a great question to close on for this part of the thing now is the rise of the solopreneur. You know, we just had an AI summit on campus last week, and you know, things that like when Hannah was in business school or when I was coming up, even things like putting together a pitch deck like this, you know, it would take you know, days and weeks of focusing on it, and now they can be done in mere seconds. So just the velocity of of innovation and the ability to create something literally overnight is just so exciting. So what's happening now too is just like excuses and obstacles are just away. Like, oh, I would
Yeah,
do this, but I need a technical co-founder, or I would do this, but you know, I have a day job, so I don't really have time to focus on this. All those excuses go away. So I think that we're really in an era of just absolutely, like we say, unlocking opportunity, unlocking creativity, and there is no doubt, there is no argument that San Francisco is the best place to do this.
thank you. Thank you so much, John. Ramya, I'm going to bring you in into this last one before I let you go as well. Any tips or advice for all of these international students who are looking to apply for USF? Something that you can share with them that would really sort of help them in their application process.
Sure, thanks for that, Sabahat. Not pushing me under the bus at all. Giving me such a large umbrella to
just,
handle.
just a simple one.
No, thank you for that. It's very important. I'm very glad you gave me this. Thank you so much. So all you Indian folks, don't get hassled, as Hannah rightly said. You do have time. May 15th is a wonderful deadline, and your scholarships are available for you to take advantage of. So work on your holistic profile. We're here to help you every step of the way. I'm right here. I work out of Mumbai. I've shared my number. So all you have to do is dial me up, and I'll be happy to talk to you. Just keep in mind, as John and Hannah have shared some great insights. Be yourself, put yourself out there, let your story get reflected in your application. Do not hide your failures, and don't get hassled. I mean, it's the tip of the stock market, guys. When the chips are low is when you invest, right?
Yeah.
So it can be a little daunting at this time with everything that's going on in the world. However, this could well be your chance to invest in yourself and get that top grade master's. This would
Yeah.
be your time. And when the markets come back, boom, you're right there and you're going to be taking up all those
Yeah.
opportunities, guys. So don't wait. This is your time. Get cracking with those applications. Reach out to us any number of times. We'll be happy to help you. Looking forward to seeing many of you on board our campuses. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Ramya. I know I pulled you into that last minute, but thank you so much. We have quite a few questions, and I'm going to try and take on the most common ones. Like I said, Hannah and Ramya have been wonderful in answering all of these questions, but this is something which is on a lot of students' minds. So I'm going to take this up. Um, as you know, in India, we have a 3-year degree program as well. So, what my question to you is: do you all accept students who come in with a 3-year degree program? If not, what additional do they need to do in order to make sure that they fall well within the application criteria for USF?
Absolutely. Super important question. 9 out of 10 times, yes, 3-year degrees are equivalent to the 4-year degree. When you submit your application, I and my colleague Lindsay, we are verifying your transcripts. So we try to avoid any WES evaluation whenever
Mm-hmm.
possible. Of course, if you have one, please give it to me. It'll save me an
Great.
hour and a half of time. But in most cases, 9 out of 10 times, we're looking for folks who graduated first class distinction. That will typically lead to the 4-year equivalency. So the short answer is yes. And if it does not, don't worry, I will coach you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. John, we spoke a lot about networking, and of course, the age old saying which is out there: your network is your net worth as such. So, let's talk a little bit in detail about how does USF help students be ready for networking opportunities, especially given, your location, which is the Bay Area in San Francisco?
Yes. The phrase that comes to mind as well is sort of simple but not easy, right?
Yeah.
There are no secrets. But the important thing is, sort of the little things. I think that probably your grandmother can give you better advice than I can, and that means things like saying please and thank you, following up.
Yeah.
There's the famous coffee test. Like if you're offered a cup of coffee in a meeting, this has become almost memeable now, is that after the meeting, figure out how to dispose of the coffee cup. Do you take
Yeah.
these little things count. There are many people that want to help you. You'll have a .edu email address. Everybody that you meet was a student once. Many of them have gone to business school as well. They know the drill. There's nothing to be shy about. But USF will create plenty of opportunities. So in our MSCI program, we do a coffee networking event in the first month of the program.
Great.
There are constantly events on campus. What I do see though is, there are many students that just think that this is like primary school, that you kind of just, you do your lessons and then you kind of sit back and then you go play.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. You have to be an active participant in your education connected to networking.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. Divya, I hope that answers your question also about networking events and career fairs. Yes, just John did speak about them. They do have quite a few of those available. So I would suggest look it up on their website. Uh, the next question, Hannah, Ramya, this goes out to you folks. Of course, we have tackled this question in various different ways, but does having a great CGPA really elevate a student's chance of cracking the scholarship process and the admission process? And what do those students who sort of do not have that perfect CGPA or GPA as such do in order to make sure that they are also a part of the competitive field?
Great question. 2 answers. The first is it's grad school. Of course, we want to see that you did well academically. That's not a hard question to answer. I always tell folks that if you did well on a test, we want to see it. If you did well academically, we want to see it. That is really the first layer that prospective candidates think about, but also us, our faculty, are going to think about that first. We want to know that you will be successful in the classroom. So absolutely. So for those of you who have a great CGPA, moving on, great work. But for those of you that maybe struggled in undergrad, we want to know why. That does not mean that you are not eligible for grad school. And it doesn't mean that you haven't changed. I always share my example. Whew, I was one who slept in a little too hard my sophomore year. All right. I did not take that class very seriously. So it hurt my overall GPA. But you can see that my senior year I improved. You could see through 6 years of work experience that I had improved and I was more mature and prepared for my MBA. So there are many of you on this call that probably have a very similar experience to that. So recognize if you are less than an A student, how can you demonstrate through work experience? If you are less than a B student, how can you demonstrate through a GRE or GMAT? There are various pathways to demonstrate to an admission committee that you are mature enough to be successful in the classroom. And work with us. We will give you very clear answers after we've seen your resume and your transcripts to tell you what the best option is to demonstrate success to the admission committee.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. That was really helpful. Aditi and quite a few of you, I hope this answers your question. The next question that I'm going to take about is from Dhruvi, who wants to know, what are the common visa challenges international students face and how can they overcome them? To add on to this, I also received a personal question from someone in the audience who wants to know, given that the US visa process is becoming slightly more tougher to get into, especially for students who are looking at applying in later rounds of the deadline, how does this sort of place them in the admission cycle?
Great question. So I feel very lucky that I've supported 9 years of international students through various administration changes in the US government, through various funding issues, through delays, and through a pandemic. So one, you have an ally just here on this call. We have an international student services team that is incredibly dedicated to you, full of experts that have been working in this industry for a long time. Nobody here is green. So that tells you that we've seen some things. I like to say that there isn't a question that has stumped us yet. We may not always have the answer you want, but we do have the right answer for you. And I think tackling this head on is really important. It is scary right now. It's not the worst it's ever been, but it is certainly something to consider, and it's tough. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go through with something that could be a really groundbreaking opportunity. So one, post-admission, we offer several one-on-one coaching and group coaching. We have an entire guideline about how to prepare for your visa interview. What questions are they going to ask you? Where are their tricks? What are the right answers? So you will go through significant coaching through that. If you don't show up for that session, good luck. So we really work with you to prepare you for the hard stuff that can happen. And a lot of folks worry that there's a financial cost to this, right? We have to pay a deposit. I have to go through the loan process prior to the I-20. One of the things that we do is that if your visa is denied, you will receive a refund for your deposit. And then you will receive first priority for the next cycle for admission consideration. So we won't get to know that you are accepted or denied on your visa until we get there. I can't make promises for you, neither can the embassy, but we will give you every tool available to encourage your support. And if it doesn't go the way that we hoped, we will be ready to support you in the next cycle, right? And that is something that many institutions are willing to offer. I think it's hard to balance this because it does seem really tough and scary. We're here to support you, but the opportunity of getting to the US and in the AI hub with proximity of Silicon Valley and the job opportunities and the H-1B, it might be tough, but you can either wait 4 years or you can start now. And those are, everyone's going to have a different answer to that on this call, but know that we'll be here either way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. That is really helpful. So all of you go out there and start tracking that visa application process. Niraja, what did they say about the 3-year course? Yes, they do accept it. You can get in touch with Ramya. Her details are in the chat window. She will guide you through that. I know we have sort of extended the time here, but a couple of more questions, Hannah, Ramya, John, if that's okay for you, before we sort of wind up. 5 more
Absolutely.
minutes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. John, my next question is to you. Can you so Divya wants to know, what are some of the top industries that recruit from USF's management programs?
Mhm. Yeah, sure. So really we have, the entire range of industry. We have traditional sort of big tech,
Mhm.
but we also have students working for small businesses, startups. Really, it runs the gamut. Like I said in my earlier comments, the sort of glib answer is that in the Bay Area, every company is a tech company, but it's true. And so I wouldn't point, healthcare is a big one, obviously, that's growing. But
Yeah.
again, it's really sort of anything is possible. Anything's available. Hannah, maybe you can add to that. That's my sense.
That was kind of not fair because I was technically answering a question in the chat. I apologize for not listening.
No,
Can
no.
you team me up with that question again?
Just
Sure. We were
which,
talking about
what
some top
industries?
industries recruit from USF.
Oh,
Mm.
gosh. So that's what's super exciting here. I think obviously you'll hear a lot about AI, but AI is fueling every industry. So
Yeah.
I've got students who are in biotech, clean tech. You'll hear a lot of tech. I mean, if you want to work in farming, don't come to University of San Francisco. That's going to be at a different institution. That's not our
Disagree.
best, but
Disagree completely. No, that's false. We actually do that as well. We had students working on an AI project last year for
Wow.
a VC firm on AI fueled farming implements.
okay.
So
Well, I'm
we
sorry.
have
I
everything.
meant
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
farming, like tilling the ground. Excuse me,
But if
We
you want
John.
to
have it.
bring, but if you want to bring an AI innovation into that,
Yes.
USF
Ag
is your
tech
place to
is,
go.
yeah,
And
we
tech.
absolutely have it.
Ag tech. Yes.
University of San Francisco owns a farm in Marin County, and if
That's
you
true.
want to get involved, that is absolutely possible. So yes, we have literally everything.
Wow.
So, in the terms of ag tech, clean tech, biotech, those would all be things that we're participating in and that are hiring in the Bay Area. But even when we remove tech out of this, we have many folks who are going into nonprofit work, a shocking amount, mind you. A shocking amount go into service, and that really speaks to a lot of our Jesuit values and how your degree can translate into many fields.
Mhm.
So we'll see nonprofit, we'll see education, we have finance, we have many alumni who have gone into government positions. Our former mayor of San Francisco, in fact, the current head librarian of San Francisco, one of our senators. So we have many folks who go into government, finance, nonprofit, and every version of tech that could possibly be there, and their own startup companies as well. So I have yet to see, yeah, I'm not sure where they don't go
So a lot of
ultimately, which is
opportunities.
pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Wow. Great. So yeah, the world is available to you at USF. All kinds of industries are recruiting students from campus, and maybe have a look at some of their career placement and career stats on their website. That should help you get a better idea. My next question, Hannah, is for you. This is from Aditya. And I'm sure a few students also have this on the mind. For a lot of these international students who come onto your campus, this is their first time leaving home, moving somewhere new, the whole cultural adjustment, the whole coming into a new place as such. Can you talk a little bit about some of the safety measures that are available for students on campus, especially?
Absolutely. This is important to everyone. I know I came from a really small rural town in a place called Idaho. Um, we're known for potatoes, right? We never locked our front door. There wasn't really a curfew. So when I made the move to San Francisco, it felt really jarring to jump into a city that was so large, and public transportation, and a lot of that was challenging. So one, having gone through that many years ago, I empathize. And the first piece is, remember, we're 70% international. So
Yeah,
every year, I am bringing students in from India, from Africa, from Latin America, from various regions all over the world. You are successful because they have been successful.
right.
Not only will our staff and faculty give you orientation, give you advice, like It's San Francisco. Bring a jacket. You're going to need that on day one. So, we're going to help you in those ways for realistic expectations. Then, we also have current students who are excited to welcome you. We have folks who are coming from Sudan who are super excited to bring other Sudanese applicants. We have folks from Ghana who are really excited to see that population grow. And I know I have Ghanaian candidates on this
Yeah.
call today.
Yeah.
And so they are ready to have a hand open, welcome you into their home, and have a little party. So know that you have folks who will make this successful. And then when it comes to brass tacks, we all have a key card. Getting into our building is tough. So it is a fortress. We don't let anybody in off the street when you are working in our downtown School of Management graduate courses. You, as a graduate student, you are located in the downtown campus, not on the main campus. So we are next to the Charles Schwab building. We're next to whatever's left of Twitter. We're next to Salesforce. So there is a lot of local security just as an infrastructure for the city, but also on our main campus. And of course, I just want to remind, if I can do it, folks, you're
You got
fine.
it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. I can see the questions are just building up. We are going to try and get through this. But, John, my last question to you for today's evening, morning, wherever we are located at, is what are some tips you can give budding entrepreneurs who come into USF to sort of network with other people, especially in the San Francisco Bay Area?
Yeah. So you need a personal board of advisors. You need mentors.
Right.
The two things can be true at the same time. So while there's the rise of the solopreneur, you may not need a technical founder, or if you have a technical background, you may not need sort of a sales CEO type person. Nobody does this alone. You need a mentor. Our faculty do this all the time. I do it, and people in the community. What you'll discover is when you just make those sort of first introductions, those first connections, you're building a web. You build this giant web of Silicon Valley connections,
Right.
and it happens very quickly. It's definitely part of the culture here. Everybody gets it. Nobody does this by themselves. But we're here to coach you every step of the way, give you advice on how to approach people, etc. There's no better time to come to San Francisco than now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. Hannah, my last question to you before I let you and Ramya go as well. One is, of course, about English proficiency. Is medium of instruction acceptable, or is it compulsory for international students to take the IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo? Which one of these, and are they mandatory? Second, I'm sure you have mentioned about the foreign credential evaluation. Can they just sort of hand over the transcripts to USF, or do they need to go through Quest, Pantran, etc.?
Okay, here we go. So, one, English proficiency. Don't come for the messenger, folks. It's going to be important. So there are certain exemptions, and I will post a link in the chat. I'm not sure how I can do that, but I can do that here.
Just send it to me.
This is, there we go. Perfect. Our hosts and panelists, everyone. There we go. I've got this. I've
everyone.
done Zoom before. So this is available online. And again, these are standards. We accept the TOEFL, the IELTS, and the Duolingo. My advice, pick the Duolingo. Why? Because you can take it tonight, right after this call. Almost everyone here on this call in attendance had English as a medium of instruction, right? I'm going to go for at least 85% of you did. So that means you are going to ace the Duolingo test, which, what did we speak to earlier? If I did well on something, should I submit it? Yes. So if you knock it out of the park for Duolingo, the admission committee will be impressed. If you come to me with a less than minimum score, they will not be impressed, right? Grad school is hard. It takes trying. And one of the very first tests is whether or not you met the expectation of the English proficiency. And also, don't try to negotiate with my team. We are the messengers of this. We get this question all the time. If you don't meet the exceptions that are on this website, just go ahead and move forward with the Duolingo. We offer this app fee waivers, so really the cost evens out overall. Read through the exceptions that are available. We're looking for a 120 Duo. We're looking for 6.5 IELTS and a 92 TOEFL. All very reasonable with your excellent levels of English skills. I feel like there was another question there.
The other question was about credential evaluation, foreign
Oh, right.
credential evaluation.
Venture. Yes. So if you have already done an evaluation, we accept any NACEs approved. So that would be Spantran, that would be WES. All of those are acceptable. And generally, when you're uploading your transcripts, we do the verification in-house. So if you've already done it, yes. Very rarely do we require you to do this. It's if you have very wild transcripts that we've never had before. So it's pretty rare that we will request of you to do that. I'd say even this year for this cycle, I've only had to request 7 out of our total applicant pool. So generally, submit what you have. If we have any questions, we will work with you about how to verify that. So you're mostly all in a great spot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much, all of you. We have gone way over time. Thanks to all of those questions pouring in. We have tried to answer as many of your questions as possible. We will share the recording of this session with all of you. You can go back and forth and keep looking for your answers in case if you've missed out. And of course, you can get in touch with Ramya, Hannah, or John, or someone at the university, or with us at Seed Global Education, and we will be able to help you with anything which is left unsaid. Yes, there you go. Hannah has been kind enough to share the contact details again. With that, thank you so much, all of you, for being a wonderful audience. Thank you so much, Hannah, John, for taking our time from your busy schedules. Ramya, you as well. Have a wonderful day to the two of you. Have a wonderful evening, Ramya. And to all of the audiences, good evening, good night, good afternoon, from wherever you are joining in from. We look forward to connecting you with you again. Take care. See you. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you, Subhaha.